You go gym, bro? You go gym? How long? How long have you been going to gym? Damn, 2 years? That's crazy. How much muscle are you making per week? Oh, that's not enough, bro. We can't deal with that. If you want to make more muscle in the gym and you're around 6 months to 2 years into the gym, so you're an intermediate when it comes to gym, then I've made this guide specifically for you. A few days ago, I made a beginner's gym guide. It was around 40 something minutes long, and this full guide, I'm going to share with you everything I've learned as an intermediate. And this might be around half an hour to an hour long, who knows. And there's going to be a lot of editing. Again, yay. I'm just shitting. I actually love editing this stuff. It's fun. So for my beginners full course, I was talking mostly about how to start in the gym. There were some tips on how to make progress and stuff the beginner should worry about. But when you go a few months in, suddenly all your problems like being consistent and making muscle, getting the newbie gains in, showing up to the gym, whatever, that stuff, it starts to stop becoming a problem and just it becomes a habit. Showing up to the gym, it feels like a habit. You just do it. Being consistent, you just do it. You just show up at the gym, lift the weight, come home, eat whatever. It's all habitual. If that's even the right word. Whatever, I don't care. I don't understand English. English is stupid anyway. So when it comes to gaining muscle, there are a few mistakes that people like me make even after we've gone to gym for 6 months, or a year or 2 years. I've been going to gym for 4 years. And I said this in my beginner full guide, but I haven't actually made that much muscle because I made a lot of mistakes. When I figured out the solution to one mistake, a new one would appear, and I'll just waste the entire year just repeating that same mistake over and over, even though I didn't realize it was a mistake in the first place. And then, I eventually just cut all that bullshit out of my life. I learnt from my mistakes, and I started gaining way more muscle than I ever have before. So within the past 2 months, I've been putting on significant muscle. I'm not sure if you guys get this or if any average gym junkie gets this on the inverted leg press, but whenever the weight becomes too light for me on the inverted leg press, like let's say I'm doing 12 reps now and I'm trying to go back down to 6 to progressive overload, I end up adding like 20 kilograms to my inverted leg press, and I can do that for 6 reps. Even though I could only do, let's say I did 140. I did that for 12 reps. Now I try and do 6 reps and I can do 108.60. That's insane. Let me know if you guys get that. Tell me in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's pretty insane, to be honest. And even with my other compound movements, I don't necessarily put 20 kilograms on every week, but I do add around 2 to 3, maybe even sometimes 4 reps to stuff like I don't do bench press, it's the dumbbell bench press. I do that. I do add around 2 reps or more per week, which is pretty good. I used to only add around 1 rep per week, or not even 1 rep per 2 weeks. I was pretty down there. For an entire year, I actually didn't add any weight to the bar or the dumbbells, whatever. And it's a whole story, but it's part of the mistakes I made, and I eventually learned from those mistakes. And now I'm back to making tons of muscle again. I reckon that if I had known all the stuff I know today when I first started going to the gym, I reckon I could have gone from being the skinny guy I was to being what I am right now in 1 year. In only 1 year. that's how much muscle I'm gaining right now. And I'm proud to be able to make this course so I can share with you what I've learned over the years. Although, unfortunately, it won't be all of it because I need some stuff to save for my advanced course, which I am going to be making soon, hopefully. Again, might be in the next 2 weeks or whatever, we'll see. But yeah, I hope I get to it soon. If burnout doesn't get to me from editing this thing 24/7 for however many days straight, I might record it again 1 week. Or I might record the advanced Gym Bro course within the next week. So the first thing I want to share with you guys who have gone from beginner to now intermediate, you've got a few months of experience in the gym, and you don't know the ultimate basics of muscle gain, like bulking, which is what I'm going to be discussing here mostly. How to make muscle for idiots. So the first part is training. If your training is in order, great. There's also other stuff, but let's discuss training first. So, do 3 sets per exercise on average. You can get away with doing 1 set on average. Like, if you have one day when you feel tired, you don't really want to do the work today, then you just end up doing 1 set. That's understandable. You can get away with that. But if it becomes a normal thing, if you start doing 1 set on average, chances are you're not going to make that much gains. You'll probably just be making... Well, not making. You won't be making anything. You'll just be maintaining the muscle you already have. You can gain muscle with 1 set, but after a while, your body's like, nah, bro, this is too easy. I don't feel like making muscle no more. It's boring. It's stupid. This guy, he's a pussy. He can't even do 3 sets. He just does 1. What a loser. And then you stop making muscle after a while. So yeah, do at least around 3 sets on average. It doesn't have to be every day, but on average per workout you want to do, or not per exercise, you want to do 3 sets. My computer keeps turning off. Let me change that real quick. Be right back. And for those sets, you want to make sure that on the last set of every exercise, you want to go to failure. The rest of the sets, you can do 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. That's totally fine. Or you can just not go anywhere near failure, even though that's kind of stupid. You probably won't make that many gains because you're going way too easy on yourself. If you want to make optimal gains with your sets, you want to make sure that the last set on every exercise is to failure, and then the rest is near failure. You still gotta be gritting your teeth a little bit, if you get what I mean. And that's really it for training. You can try the perfect exercise. You can try to optimize your exercises and, I don't know, improve your form. Although I already spoke about that in the beginner full guide thing. But honestly, that stuff, other than the form's definitely important, but the exercises, not so much. You can get away with gains with whatever exercise, doesn't matter. Barbell bench press, dumbbell bench press, machine press, chest flies, who cares, push-ups, it's all totally fine. As long as you have an exercise and you're pushing hard on it. Of course, there are some no-go exercises for size, but I don't feel like talking about it, so I'm not going to. You're welcome. Recovery, the most important part of the gym. Of course, training is also very, very important. Without the proper training, you won't get anywhere, most likely. Honestly, they're equally important. Bro, my computer is still turning off. Why does it do that? Stop. Okay. weird. I love technology. So as I was saying, training and recovery, they're actually pretty equally important. With one without the other just equals nothing. You need training and recovery to make any gains at all. If you train but don't recover like at all, you don't sleep, you don't eat, you just die of old age, you're probably not gonna make any muscle. If you eat and sleep and stuff, but you don't train, you don't lift weights, well, you're not gonna gain any muscle then either. But also, if you train but don't recover properly, you eat too little and you sleep too little, you're probably also not going to make any gains. So what you want to make sure of is that you're training properly and you're recovering properly. But I think I've sailed that point home multiple times, so I'm just going to shut up and tell you about recovery now. Calories are your best friend. So for calories, eat lots of it. For the majority of people, 3,000 seems to be enough. Even for pretty tall or fat dudes. The way to think about it is you tear the muscle. You go to gym, you lift weights, you tear the muscle, right? You eat the calories, you eat in a surplus, but your body uses the calories to repair the muscle. And then since you've got a few extra calories in your system, it uses the calories to build more muscle. So that next time, you can lift the weight for more. You're stronger. You're bigger. Got it? Good. You want to be eating at least 200 calories more than your maintenance. So your body, it burns a certain amount of calories per day. So let's say you were skinny like me and you did a lot of exercise. Since you're skinny, you probably burn around 1,500 calories per day since you're really skinny. And since you run around a lot, or I ran around a lot, that's probably an extra 500 calories. So I burnt around 2,000 calories per day. Me, back when I was a skinny little midget, no muscle, no bitches guy, I was better off eating 2,200 calories because that's 200 calories over my maintenance. Anything above 2,000 would have resulted in more fat gain than muscle. And that's not what we want, most likely. You just want that lean muscle tissue stuff. So stick to around 200 to, if you really must go over 200, which I don't recommend, go 500 calories above your maintenance. But anything above 500, it's just too much. Don't do it. That's stupid. You're stupid. You're a bitch. Stop it. Get some help. Good. And if you ask the question of like, oh, but Caleb, what's my maintenance? How do I know what my maintenance is? And to that I say, math. I actually have a math equation for you. So take your weight. I weigh 60 kilograms. So I would take the number 60. If you use pounds as a measuring metric, just convert it into kilograms. Or just divide the number by 2.2. So take your weight, in my case 60 kilograms, and times it by 40. So if you times 60 by 40, it's around 2,200. I read this off of a YouTube video by Jeff Nippard. Shout out. He's a great guy. Just let me check the math. 60 times 40. 2,400. 200. So 3,000 calories is a bit over the recommended surplus I just gave. But it's, honestly, I don't eat enough carbs to actually gain that much fat. So I can get away with it. It's just you guys, I'm assuming most guys, they like to eat their carbs. So that's why I say 200 is probably better. Because you eat a lot of carbs. Anything more than that, it's going to be a lot of carbs. And you're going to gain lots of weight. So, yeah. Don't do that. Unless you don't eat that many carbs, then go wild. I don't really give a shit. If you don't feel like overthinking that stuff, that's fine. Just do 3,000 calories, and that's most likely more than enough. Or it's right in the sweet spot. Either one of those. As long as you don't go under what's classified as enough for you, you're really all good. So yeah, I'm saying you can technically eat 5,000 calories a day if you wanted to, even though it's way above your recommended surplus. You still gain muscle. You just also gain a lot of fat. So it's up to you. You can do what you want. I am not forcing you to do anything. I'm not sitting under your bed at night waiting for you to go to sleep so that I can tie you up, bring you to my basement, and hold you at gunpoint telling you, eat 3,000 calories or you're gonna die right now. Bitch. I'm not doing that. So rest assured, you don't have to eat 3,000, probably, unless you want to die, maybe. Well, I didn't say that. I didn't say it. Okay, never mind. And then there's the other boring stuff like sleep. Sleep at least 7 hours a day. I do sometimes sleep less than that. Honestly, I think sleep isn't really that important for muscle growth, if I'm actually being really honest. I might just be totally goofing myself. Maybe I actually sleep more than I think I do. Because some nights I sleep at around 11 or midnight, and I have school in the morning, so I wake up at 7. Wait, no, that is 7 hours of sleep. Okay, I'm an idiot. Never mind. Sleep 7 hours a night at least, or you're a bitch. Got it. Good. And unlike me, avoid excess cardio, like long, intense forms of cardio, like sport. I physically cannot do it. I just love sport way too much. It's too fun. So I end up playing around 2 hours of soccer or basketball a day. But it's fine because I can eat and make up for it. If you can eat to make up for all the intense, long cardio you're doing, then don't listen to this. It's absolutely fine. It's just for old me, where I used to think, oh, bulking's too hard. Calories, bro. Nothing tastes good. I'm not even hungry. I don't want to eat that much. I was doing lots of cardio per day, and I would not have eaten the extra 500 calories to save my life or to gain muscle. Alright, so that's the basics out of the way. Now we're going to talk about changing your routines. You might notice that I'm standing up now compared to sitting down, and that's because I stood up. Anyway, when it comes to your routine, your workouts, you want to avoid changing them up too often. Your workout split, so let's say you do push-pull legs, I recommend that you just never change it at all. Unless you find something that's really, really that much better. Like, for example, maybe you want to hit more volume. You were doing bro split before, and you only hit chest once per week, but now you want to hit it twice per week instead. If that's the case, then fine. Change to push-pull legs or whatever. But in very rare cases, do you actually really need to change up your split? Like me, I'm doing bro split, and my chest is growing just fine. In fact, it's growing way more than it was when I was doing upper-lower. So that means I was doing chest 2 times per week. There might have been some other variables that were actually causing me to not gain as much muscle. Maybe. Because I do remember bulking back then. I don't think I was doing anything particularly wrong. So it's kind of weird. I'm doing bro split. I'm actually gaining more muscle somehow. So that's pretty funny. But key takeaway for the split part, you don't need to change it. It's not that deep. But for your workouts, don't change them too often. You should change them sometimes, maybe once or twice a year. Depends how quickly the exercises become stale. I'll explain in a second what stale means. But most people, they can get away with just changing it once or twice per year. It's very unlikely that you'll need to change your workouts more often than that. So if you ever get the urge to change your workout, don't. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. Great. Now that I've convinced you, let's keep going. So some reasons you might want to not change up your workout, in case I haven't actually convinced you, which is stupid. There's no way I haven't convinced you, but just in case, you're never going to get the chance to actually track your progress if you keep changing up your routine, your workouts. Let's say for back day, you do barbell rows, and that's it. And then the next time you have back, you do lat pull downs instead. Then the next back workout, you do pull-ups. You're never actually going to be able to track your progress or progressive overload because you keep changing up the exercises. The weights you use for each of those exercises is not going to be the same. So let's say you have barbell rows and you do that for 60 kilograms, 6 reps. And then you go do lat pull downs for maybe 50 kilograms and 12 reps. And then you go do pull-ups, and you can't actually track the weight on that because it's your body weight. Unless you know your body weight. Like mine's 60 kilograms, so I'll be lifting 60 kilograms. You're not going to be able to track your progress. You won't know when you're adding weight to the movement that you were doing before, like barbell rows. And so therefore you can't actually progressive overload. When I stopped doing a specific workout for a certain day, like back day, when I started doing different things every time I had back day, I made no gains. Even though every set I was going to failure, I was constantly pushing myself, I never actually made as many gains, as much muscle as I wanted to. In fact, I made around 0 gains. I did a strength test at the end of the year, and I was barbell rowing the same weight for the same reps. I think it might also be because your body needs to be familiar to a certain movement to be able to put on the muscle for that specific movement. Like for bench press and dumbbell bench press, my dumbbell bench press has gone up tremendously, but my barbell bench press, it hasn't changed at all. Like 0 reps, 0 kilograms added to my bench press. But for my dumbbell bench press, I've added 10 kilograms to how much I press. That's insane. Just stop changing up your exercises, it's not that deep. There's this Arnold Schwarzenegger advice of shock the muscles. Do something different every time. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, your muscles are going to think,
oh yeah, I know your tricks. Let's put a stop to this. Let's just stop making muscle because you keep doing this one single thing every time and I'm used to it by now.
That's not how it works. I mean, it is how it works, but not as frequently as you think it does. This happens, and by this I mean your muscles getting used to the movement that you're doing. It happens after like 4 months maybe. 4 months of doing that particular movement, like let's say dumbbell bench press. Only after 4 months will my muscles actually stop responding to it as much. The muscles don't actually stop responding to it altogether. I'll still gain muscle off of doing dumbbell bench press even though my muscles are used to it. It's just the first 4 months you do an exercise is when you make the most gains off of it. But then past that, yeah, it might dip a little bit. And then you can change the exercise after that. But it's not every single day that your muscles look at the exercise you're doing and then think,
this exercise, it's so easy, bro. It's so easy, I'm not even gonna bother giving you muscle for it, because, bro, I'm used to it by now.
Doesn't happen. And to the argument he makes of shocking the muscle promotes more muscle growth, so he talked about the muscle plateauing, but does it actually cause more muscle growth? From my experience, no. I tried it for an entire year, it did not work. I changed exercises every single time I had a particular day, like push day. Every push day I would change the exercises, it didn't work. And I realized that I'm going on a rant against some professional bodybuilder and I'm just some kid who's still in college and only 4 years into the gym and not on steroids. But it's just from my experience that I'm saying it doesn't work. Shocking the muscle, waste of time. Shock the muscle every 4 months, but not every single day, damn it. Doesn't work.
And also you might end up doing a bunch of routines that don't suit you specifically. Because everyone is different, everyone responds to different movements. So, me for example, I get the best muscle response from doing the dumbbell bench press. I feel it in my chest, my triceps, my shoulders. It all just starts burning after a while. I feel the tension. I get a good stretch on my chest when I do it. Compared to bench press, let's say. I don't really feel it that much. I still make gains off of the bench press, but it's not that optimal for me. It's not my exercise. And then the thing is, eventually that will change. Like, dumbbell bench press won't be as effective for me anymore because I'll get used to it or whatever. But that's after a few months. Right now, it's doing me very well. Just stick to your exercise. Find an exercise that gives you the most stimulus in your muscles. The exercise that gives you the biggest pump, or the biggest burn, or tight feeling. Go after the feeling the exercise gives you, not the feeling of validation you get from following someone else's advice of like,
oh yeah, this exercise is the best exercise and no one can argue because they're all stupid and dumb.
Honestly, you are stupid and dumb to listen to those people, so don't do it. So, here's a rule of thumb for changing up your exercises. If every week for that specific exercise you do, let's say it's bench press, if every week you add 2 reps to the movement, let's say you're doing bench press for whatever weight and you're doing 50 reps, which is a very bad example. If next week you start doing 52 reps instead of 50, because now the weight feels lighter, you're bigger and stronger now, then that means the exercise is working for you. You don't need to change it. If all of a sudden you're only adding 1 rep per week consistently, if for 1 week you don't add 2 reps and instead you add 1 rep, or maybe no reps, that's totally fine. Maybe you just had an off day, doesn't matter. But if you consistently stop adding reps or weight to the bar, and you're doing everything right, you're sleeping, you're eating, you're recovering to the best of your ability, and you're still not making that much progress on that movement, then you can change it. But until then, just stick with what you have. That is my advice. Do not change your split. Do not change your exercises, at least within the first 4 months of changing them. Your split, you can change it, whatever. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. Your exercises, change it maybe every 4 months. That's all I'll say.
Hey, look, I'm sitting down again. You know why I'm sitting down? It's because I'm a fat, lazy piece of shit that is worthless and deserves to die. Like all lazy people who sit down. Just kidding. I went outside for once in my life. Just kidding. I go outside all the time. Garden. So yeah, that's also why I'm wearing a vest, because as much as I hate it, I can't go outside shirtless, so I wore a vest. The next part for this full guide is choose your exercises. Exercise selection in the gym. It's not that important. It's not gonna make you 2 times the gains that you're making right now. But choosing the right exercises that work for you, that make you feel the best, and really just tear those muscle fibers. They will at least make you 1.5 times more gains. And the compound effect as well. Even if it doesn't make the biggest change within the next month, over the next year, you will see it. You'll see the very significant difference. So it's very important that you choose the right exercises. So how you want to go about choosing your exercises is, let's first assume that you're using my pre-made workout, the workout I made for you in the Gym Beginners full guide. I'm going to assume you're using that, or you just went on some random website on the internet and just stole the routines you saw in there. If you are making significant progress, if you're making if you're adding around 2 reps to whatever weight you're pushing per week. So on chest press, you get what I mean. I've given enough examples for that. If you're progressive overloading, then the workout, it's probably fine. But there's a chance that maybe you could do better. So let's say it's chest day, and you've got the default routine that you do. Go around the gym. If you haven't done this already within the first 6 months or first year of going to gym, if you haven't tried out the other exercises, go do it. But make it relative to the muscle that you're training. So if it's push day, you want to go and do the exercises that train your chest. So you could, let's say you're doing bench press in your routine. At the end of the push day, you could go and do the chest flies. You could go do the machine press, dumbbell press. Maybe you could even try different angles of a press, like a decline or incline or flat press if you're not doing it already. And don't start doing fancy shit you see online. Keep it somewhat conventional. Don't go and start doing... What do people do these days? Like the Hollywood movie training videos I've seen, they do weird shit for their push exercises. They get like one cable that's... So there's one arm. You hold the cable bar and the weight is under your arm. And then for the other arm, the weight is above your arm, and so you're just doing a chest exercise like you're doing Baby Shark. And I just see that, I'm like, what? What is the point? Keep it somewhat conventional. Don't try anything fancy. Just make it so that it's one symmetrical movement. There shouldn't be this whole series of,
Oh, I'm gonna press forwards, and then, because I'm such a alpha male, sigma omega something male, I'm gonna use a cable machine, and first up, I'm gonna press forwards like a normal person, but then I'm gonna bring the weight back, and I'm gonna bring the weight up, I'm gonna push it up like this, and it's a shoulder exercise now, oh my days. But then guess what? I go back down, and I push downwards and do whatever the shit that does. And then I bring the cable back up and then push forwards again, and then repeat.
it's weird. I don't know why people do that. You could do that if you really wanted to. I don't really see the benefit. I think if you do your sets like that, where you have 3 exercises in one, you end up focusing on the sequence of the exercise instead of pushing hard or counting your reps. So it's very distracting, definitely. And the amount of energy it takes to change the position of your hands or whatever, or to transition into the new sequence, it's not worth it. Don't do that. Just do some normal exercises that I listed as example. So yeah, try some new exercises, and then the important thing is to just base the value of the exercise off of how you're feeling. So let's say you have chest flies. You do your set, you do one whole set to failure, and just ask yourself, what do I feel? Is my chest burning? Do my biceps feel like they're taking over? Do my shoulders hurt? All that stuff. If you feel the burn in the target muscle, like your chest, then there's a good chance that the exercise is pretty good and you can implement it in your routine. Of course, there are going to be a few exercises that you feel the burn in, so don't just go adding dozens of exercises to your workout. Just take your pick, right? And then there's also the pump. Do you get a good pump from those exercises? People say that the pump is really kind of useless to figuring out how much muscle you're going to potentially grow from that workout, but I disagree. A pump, the reason that your muscles are pumped is because there's blood going into the muscles. If there's blood going into the muscles, that means your muscles were working really hard at one point during whatever you just did. So yes, pump is actually a great indicator of how good an exercise is. And then there's tension. Do your muscles feel tense or tight after the set you just did? after the exercise. And then also really important is how you don't feel. Do you feel tired? Are you breathing heavy? Or are you breathing excessively heavy compared to your normal exercises? If for a chest fly, you're breathing heavier than you would for a normal set of chest press, something's a bit wrong there. Maybe it's your form, but if not, it might just be not great of an exercise for you. So consider just leaving the exercise out, just, away. The best way, in my opinion, of going about the gym is just pure feeling. Of course, don't base your logic off of your emotions. That's not what I mean. Don't be that guy. What I mean is base your logic off of the pain you feel during the workout. And of course, there are different types of pain. There's like burn, which is the primary pain I'm talking about, like the burn, the tightness of your muscles. But then there's other kinds of pain, like cardiovascular pain, like you're breathing heavy, you're sweating, you're out of breath, that kind of stuff. If you're trying to build muscle, that's probably not a great idea for a workout. You probably don't want to be breathing heavy because that will take away from the workout objectively. And then there's just pain, like you're in pain. It stings. I don't know. Like, joint pain. When you do squats a bit weirdly and suddenly your knee just fires up.
Oh, the pain.
That kind of pain. Yeah, we don't want that either. Get it out of here. So just, do you get a good burn after the workout? Do you get a good pump? Are you weak after the workout? Like with legs? If you do a full leg workout and then can walk up a flight of stairs with ease, chances are the leg workout probably wasn't that great. And so those are just things to keep in mind when you choose an exercise. And then when you do find your exercises that you like, put them in your workout. If you want, you can take one exercise out of your workout if you don't think it's working for you and replace it with this other exercise that you like a lot. And then you just do that with all the exercises, see which one you like the most, and all of a sudden you have your own workout, one that works really well for you specifically, and now all of a sudden you're making a lot more gains than before. You feel way better after your workouts, you get better pumps, you're making more muscle, which is always the best part. And so that is choosing your exercises.